All right, let's go move on over to Tuesday night for Impact Wrestling this week. And Impact Wrestling, like I said, they're still following up on the whole fallout of Slammiversary and is developing this whole new era of Impact Wrestling. And just shout out Ethan Page. My interview with him is out now. So if you're listening to this episode, go back one episode and listen to the interview with Ethan Page from the North. A lot of fun. He was in character. I'll put that little disclaimer out there. So we had a lot of fun talking about stuff, what's going on with him and Impact Wrestling. So Richard, just your overall thoughts on Impact this week.
Growing pains.
Really? Anything particular that stood out that's like, ooh, where's
I'll give you my positives. If that is, you want my positives or my negatives?
Don't you normally start with the bad first and then try to end on a good note?
Go with the bad.
Sure. I thought that Moose needs new music because
okay.
It's just whatever. Just saying Moose repeatedly is terrible.
Yeah.
The announcing team does make the show very, very challenging. Like,
yeah,
that's
true.
When I was watching it, I had the volume either really low or on mute.
Okay.
And, I'd turn it back up for, like, when we got to Jimmy Jacobs interviewing the Motor City Machine Guns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once again, I pretty much fast forward through the Wrestling House.
The Wrestle House, yeah.
Sure, that. Just not good for the most part.
It's very hokey.
There was three things I liked on the show, to be honest.
Cool.
So,
what's that? What are those three things?
I did enjoy Moose versus Heath.
Okay.
It's really hard not to say Slater, but I thought that was, because when was the last time you saw Heath Slater in a match that was more than 5 minutes?
You should go by Heath Bar.
Yeah,
Heath Bar.
I like Heath bars.
Bar.
Those are good.
I thought that was pretty good. I enjoyed Jimmy Jacobs interviewing the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, that was a good
Ethan
segment.
Page completely losing his shit.
That was good. That was good stuff.
I liked the Rich Swann segment the way it ended. I thought
that was good.
how it started was debatable.
Yeah.
Because had if his leg's in that bad a shape for real, he's not getting in a ring. There's no way he's getting his leg over that rope and getting in a ring.
Yeah.
So I do think part of my issue with Impact is, and I think this comes from Tommy Dreamer because he talks about it on his show all the time, but I think they try to act as if kayfabe is still a thing. Real heavy. Like Josh Matthews and Madison Rayne aren't married. They're co-workers. And it's like, everyone knows this stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of, no.
Yeah.
Also, my last diatribe.
Okay.
I have no idea what the fuck EC3 is saying about anything. And these, like, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. They have no purpose. They have no meaning. And I don't care about Brian Myers coming to Impact at all. Does anyone else?
I agree.
Wow. So with Brian Myers, I'm with you. I'm like, wow, that's your big free agent signing. Like
who are you?
I mean, I hate to hate on a guy who's trying to make a living in pro wrestling, but
you're hyping Barry Horowitz. Like, it's a guy that never won a match.
Yeah,
Thank you.
He had the Chuck Norris fax thing going for a while when he returned for the second time with the company a few years ago.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
But yeah, there's nothing really appealing. He comes out in these big, bright blue, orange colors. He's a big New York Mets fan. It's like put your sports fandom to the side and come up with some actual cool gear. But like there's nothing about him that's like super appealing. Like, oh my God, I cannot wait. No one has ever said, I can't wait to see a Brian Myers match. I hate to say it. I said,
Kurt Hawkins.
Like I said, I mean, the guy, he's going out there, he's providing for his family and buying action figures for his
nothing against him personally at all. And it's like, it's not me saying I don't like the guy. It's saying that, like, he hasn't done anything to justify these kind of badass videos. Yeah,
and I hate to say it, like, going back to our topic last week, or discussion last week, he doesn't have the it factor to, like...
No.
Like, to at best, he was lucky to get the Raw tag titles last year, but that was in WrestleMania in him and Zack Ryder's hometown, or, home area, home state of New York
on
City.
the pre-show.
Yeah, on the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like their last big hoorah for the both of them, and then they both went away. But yeah, I'm with you, Brian Myers. Wow, we're spending a lot of time talking about Brian Myers here.
It's a disappointment.
But
Well, I wanted to bring it up last week because I saw it last week and I just forgot. So,
yeah, but he's very forgettable. I hate to say it. And listen, I mean, for Impact, who knows? Maybe they could do something with him that we'll see something from him that we haven't seen in a long time, or he can help put over the younger talent. I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you. It's like, who cares about Brian Myers? Like I said, that opening match with Moose and Heath Bar, but it was amazing. I have not seen Heath wrestle a match like that in a very long time. Like, he was hungry.
Yeah.
He was intense. And ultimately, yeah, Moose got the victory, and now Heath lost. So he didn't get his contract. So I'm sure he's going to try to figure out another way, a loophole, to get a job with Impact still.
I made this offer.
Well, Moose offered him a TNA contract.
Start a whole TNA faction.
Yeah.
I made this offer. I was just making this observation about Heath. Just looking at him and the way he worked in that match against Moose, you know who he kind of reminds me a little bit?
Who's that?
Just his frame and his look and all that, and the tights. He reminded me.
DDP.
Thank you. I was thinking Diamond Dallas Page.
I am with you 100% because he's the only other person I've seen in recent memory that does the that spinning neck breaker that DDP used to do.
And the way he was like working the punches and all that reminded me a little like Diamond Dallas Page.
I love this match from Heath, and so that's an example of someone who WWE didn't utilize to the fullest, and now he can go elsewhere and really show his talents. And so I'm sure they'll figure out storyline wise how he can still get a contract, a second chance with Impact. And once it eventually does happen, I'm excited to see what he can do. He can easily probably move on up on the card very quickly. So
Absolutely.
I'm excited for Heath. And as you say, I love the segment with Motor City Machine Guns, the interview with Jimmy Jacobs, just talking about why they came back, what they hope to do. Even Alex Shelley.
Alex Shelley should, that, like I said a couple weeks ago, that show should be centered around him.
Totally.
He's so good.
And he dropped a New Japan Pro Wrestling reference there. And if you listen to my interview with Ethan Page, we talk about that, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, hey, hopefully maybe that's a sign Impact and New Japan can work together again. That's
kind of the breaking of the ice.
Yeah, Easter egg right there. Go listen to that interview. But yeah, the North coming out, Ethan Page, dude, just on the mic, so awesome. His energy and just how angry he was.
I just like how Alex Shelley said, "Okay, you look like Rick Martel or whatever with your look," and while Josh Alexander is like Rick Steiner Jr. or whatever. You know? So that was pretty funny.
It's great. So I'm glad to see that they're going to have a rematch at what's it called?
Resurgence?
Oh my
Resurgence? I don't know, but Josh Matthews got it wrong on the show at one point. So
yeah. So they're gonna have a rematch. They're having like a 2-week special event, very similar to like NXT did, a Great American Bash, AEW did with Fyter Fest. So yeah, it's gonna be a 2-week special on August 18th and 25th, and I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be crap. I still don't have it. Tommy, do you have it there?
Yeah.
By chance. So yeah, go ahead and look up for what the name of that Access TV event's going to be. And yeah, Eddie Edwards, Sami Callihan. It's good match. RVD attacked Sami Callihan beforehand. Eddie Edwards still having an open challenge. He ultimately got the victory over Sami Callihan. You can kind of blame it on Sami Callihan at disadvantage because he got beat up by RVD. For me, this, even though Eddie Edwards is the Impact champion, it's, was in the middle of the show. It didn't main event the show. So I kind of feel like I want them to kind of really elevate.
But that feels like where Eddie Edwards belongs on the show.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I get that.
I just don't see him as a main event guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting what they do with him or with that championship, I guess, as far as...
it feels like they put the belt on him because he's been there for a long time.
He's loyal.
They keep addressing that. He's loyal.
It's a reward.
So he's the champion.
Yeah.
Which feels wrong.
Emergence.
You should have it based on your merits.
Yeah, totally. Emergence, that's a 2-week special on Access TV with Impact. So it's like their version of like a pay-per-view on TV, though, regular TV. So yeah, no, Eddie Edwards, it's like, I'm happy he won at Slammiversary, but now it's like, now what? why should I care? Like, I know we have that short attention span. I think that's because of we watch WWE so much.
Well,
guys get hot.
I'm automatically turned off anytime someone drops the "I'm going to be a fighting champion" line, and it did that to me the last time when he beat Bobby Lashley for the belt.
Yeah,
and he came out and said he's going to be a fighting champion. I'm like, my God, like think of something else to say or like use different words to kind of express that, because it's just, you've heard it so many times.
Well, and my thing, and I guess they all think of like, I gotta tell the fans straight up, I want to be the workhorse for this promotion. And that's cool. But like, to me, I get burnt out really easily of these people who defend their titles every single week, these open challenges. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it because I think you kind of burn out through the roster quickly. But also,
and if you don't lose the belt on TV, then it's not going to mean anything, because you know that he's going to retain on TV every time.
Exactly. And then also for me, it's there's no story, there's no emotion. It's sure there's the element of surprise. Ooh, who are they going to take on this week? But then it's like, okay, it's just it's a random matchup thrown together last minute, and so there's no emotion to the storyline. Like, I need some emotions to care about these two people going at it.
Save it for the X Division title.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, so as I said, it's
well, Moose, because Moose is doing it too.
Yeah,
Moose is doing open invitational, so it's kind of like, why are you doing this with both of your world champions?
That's the thing. You throw them, you throw these matches together, and then I'm not.
John Cena did it years ago with the open challenge thing, and that's
John Cena made the U.S. title relevant,
and he made Kevin Owens over,
Yes, I mean, there are instances where it does work, but it's not. You don't do it for long term though. Like Cody Rhodes, he's doing it on AEW Dynamite, and it's okay. The only way it could be interesting is what Dynamite's doing. They're involving like independent wrestlers or new free agent signing. So there is that element of surprise of like, who's he going to challenge this week? And it could literally be anyone outside of AEW as well. But even though they've been advertising some of the matches, the giveaways, so there's not that element of surprise. But with Impact, he's just been challenging guys currently with the roster. So to spice it up, it'd be nice if there's someone who hasn't signed Impact just to show up for a one-off appearance. Then that might be kind of cool. But still, you're going to burn through the roster pretty quick, and then you're going to have no storylines to work off of. So anyway, I'm really hit or miss on these open challenges. It just, as I said, it burns out pretty fast. So, Wrestle House, I'm with you, Richard. It was just
garbage.
Yeah, I guess it's their way of doing their own version of cinematic matches.
I think you have a couple of wrestlers that took theater in high school, and they're trying to incorporate that on the show. And I'm not even making a joke. Like, that's how it feels to me, and it's just like such a turn off. It's bad acting.
It's like SNL
like
skit.
Rosemary in particular, and I like Rosemary in ring, but like Rosemary like stands their head to one side, but her front of her body sticking forward, and it's just kind of like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this looks terrible.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's bad acting. It's like it was Kylie Ray, right? Like she's starting to kind of annoy me.
She's the only one that's like, it's her character already.
Yes, exactly. But even still, like, just over the top of like the hand gestures and like, sir, I get she's a grown up kid, and so she's very like insecure / doesn't know how to speak, confident wise with herself. I don't know. But it's coming off kind of annoying.
What I found funny was on Monday night, there was a tweet from Josh Matthews that said this might need to be settled on Impact Underground, making fun of the Raw Underground.
Yeah.
And then the next night they have Wrestler House. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, what's worse? Like,
Wrestle House or Raw Underground?
You tell me. Which one would you take?
I mean, at this point, I would take Raw Underground. At least it's like competition and not just bad SNL skits playing out.
Or like Mad TV.
Yeah.
Or Mad TV. Yeah. So, the acting's bad. But like I said, I guess this is just a way of using up people on the roster who have other storylines going on in the actual ring. But for me, it's
they had like outside of the Wrestle House matches.
Yeah.
3 matches on the show.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm getting at. It's like, I want more matches in the actual Impact Zone in that ring and not at this Wrestle House. Maybe give me one match out there, but they did two again. Was it Johnny Swinger? That terrible match.
Two girls.
The two girls, Edwards and Alicia Edwards and Sue. That was just bad. Like, it was just so bad. Like, the wrestling itself, it was just like, poor Johnny Swinger was selling for these girls, obviously, but it was just so bad. And like I said, I this is their version of cinematic wrestling, and it's filling up segments on the show, and they're able to film probably offsite and probably while other people are filming in the Impact Zone. I don't know. It's giving people something to do on the roster, but it's just it's. I think they could be more productive in other ways.
Yeah, they're not being directed or produced properly because it feels like we got it on the first take, so we'll say it's good.
Yeah,
and then, no one forgot their lines.
Yeah, and then last but not least, did the whole Rich Swann promo at the end where he pretty much it was so long. Literally, I was watching it and I started dozing off, and I woke back up and he was still talking, and I was like, whoa.
If that was truly his retirement speech, that was the worst retirement speech in the history of professional wrestling because it was so boring.
And why don't they learn from Mark Henry?
Boring.
It was.
You ever seen that show, What We Do in Shadows?
Yeah.
It's on FX.
Yeah.
There's a guy on there with glasses and bald head, and he's an energy vampire. So he just talks and talks until people like get frustrated and pass out.
Yeah.
That's what that promo felt like to me.
I just wish, like, it was so long, and I just was wishing. Yeah, and he was talking so low energy, but like long pauses, and like literally,
if I talk like this, I won't forget my lines.
And is it supposed to be more dramatic that way? I guess someone told him that, but literally, I think the clip online, like I looked, it was like 5 minutes. Like that was 5 minutes. I mean, it's like it felt like
10.
Felt like 5 minutes underwater, or 5 years underwater, whatever that
4 minutes too long.
Yeah. It's like he could have told it a lot shorter, a lot faster, and still have some emotion. I mean, the best part, as you mentioned earlier, was the very ending when Eric Young came out and attacked him. And
Eric Young is now a highlight for that show.
Totally. Right. He made that show. Like, he made that segment. He saved it.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is all kayfabe. Rich Swann is not going to go out like that. So
it was great, too, because he wipes him out with his crutch, and then like everyone stormed the ramp, but he swung the crutch like he meant to hit someone.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it, that was good, because it's like a lot of the stuff on that show is, I mean, there's a lot of people on this show that should not be on TV because there's a lot of, I mean, you see it on WWE. I'm sure you see it on AEW.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's a lot of waiting for spots. But like on this show, it just felt like longer waits for the spot to happen. And it was just like, if you hurt someone, you apologize for it later. Like just swing.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see Eric Young, like, if they get close enough, I'm going to hit them.
Yeah.
So.
No, he totally saved that segment. And the fact that Rich Swann took that beating, it's obviously he's going to come back eventually, and then probably going to be like the ultimate hero's return from a beatdown like that. So, but Eric Young, ultimate heel heat right now. Loved it. It was just, it felt real, and he's taking them out. He's taking people out. I loved it. But Rich Swann, his promo was just so bad. And I don't know if he was making it up as he goes, but someone should have told him, like, less is more. Like, and sometimes in these situations, in these promos, less is more. Say what you gotta say, get in and out, and get to the
especially with no crowd.
Yeah,
especially with no crowd
to feed off of.
Pan to someone's face or something.
Yeah,
or, it's a flat room. You can hear the air conditioning going on, and it's like, oh my god, this guy.
Yeah. So like I said, I be curious to see now what Eric Young does next. He's ultimately become the biggest heel in that company in
he's
less
the
than 2 weeks.
Randy Orton of Impact.
Exactly. So it's all,
I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.